Hey guys, I'm Sam, and if you're here watching this video, it means that you are interested in knowing more about the uses of the wedges, or you have bought my wedges and you are directed to this video here. Alright, so what we're going to go through today is the different sizes of the wedges like you see here, and also the different purposes of the wedges. So not all wedges that I created is to be the same use, but there's different usage for the different sizes. Okay, so that's what we're going to run through, and we're going to show you some examples and how you can make use of the wedges the best way to facilitate a good outcome, and also the intended use that actually I created it for. Alright, so check this out. We're going to go through them right and dive in right now. There'll be different sizes, and the three sizes that I have is we have the small one, the medium one, the large one that specifically comes in two sizes. Alright, you have the 9 degree one and also the 16 degree. So both of them has different purposes as well. So we'll run through all of them in sequence. Alright, so the wedges comes in different sizes, and different sizes are for different purposes. And we're going to clean up that, and we're going to show you the small and medium wedges first. So this small and medium wedges is to help bias supination or pronation of the foot, improving foot mechanics. Not so much for squats, because the largest wedges is going to be helping to do that better, because it allows the whole foot to be on the ramp. Whereas for the small and medium ones, they are actually both the same angle, but the width is just different. So, for example, we revert back to the foot position on the ramp. You cannot put the whole foot on the ramp. So you will see that the toes will be hanging, okay? And if the person doesn't have big toe extension, you're going to be probably jamming him into the position here, and he might feel like he's going to be very uncomfortable in this position as well. Okay, so I'll be mindful of this. If the person doesn't have extension here, I may not do that. Right? So cutting back to the chase, we're going to come back to foot mechanics. I'm going to show you how to do pronation and supination of the foot, and how you can bias that using the small medium wedges. Okay, so moving back to the foot mechanics that we want to achieve: pronation, which is flattening, supination, which is turning out. We want this bone here, the rear foot, to evert, and the forefoot to invert. Okay, so we want this to happen. Okay, this action. So we can spread and open up this part of the foot. Okay, that's what you want to see. So how we can do that is to actually put something here, which is at the back of the heel, okay, and then something maybe in the front. So we get this eversion, inversion. We get a twist there so that we can open up this part of the foot. So I can do things like doing a knee to wall, going forward and backwards. So just to get from supination to more biased pronation. So I can do this a few times back and forth, and that's how probably we'll do this drill. Alright, and then if you think of changing and swapping the whole exercise, we just think of creating more supination right now. We want the opposite to happen. We want this one to turn in, so we invert. Okay? So I'll flip-flop the wedges. This time we'll bias the opposite direction. We're just going to put this here and put this here. Okay, I can play with the angle, so it's not absolute. You can play with the angle, but I will probably want to bias more towards this angle here, so that we really get that position that we want. Alright, so for example, I can do the same drill, knee to wall, go forward, and then pull back, focusing on that position to create an arch. Okay, I can even add in one more, so that I don't lose contact on this big toe knuckle. Remember when I put it earlier, it was a little bit different, so this time I put a bit lower, just to make sure this big toe knuckle doesn't come off the floor. Okay, so we still want contact with the foot, but we just can bias this to where we want to go. So forward and back, forward and back. Okay, so this is for the foot mechanics, alright? I hope that was clear. And then for the large wedges, we specifically come in two sizes. One is a 16-degree one, which is the higher angle, and the one is a 9-degree one, which is the new one, is its lower angle. So depending on the person, if the person is really compressed or limited or has very little range of motion, you probably want to start them with this first. The only reason because is that if they stand on something too high, they're going to feel like going to fall forward already, and then that will actually tense them up, and then they feel they cannot maintain this position, and they start to feel a little bit of the instability. They feel they're going to fall. So imagine if you're standing very high, you feel like you're going to fall, you're going to be like, right? So you probably wouldn't want to put someone up this high first, okay? Especially if somebody is limited range of motion all over the place, you might not want to do this here first. Instead, I might start somebody off with a lower ramp, which this is the main purpose for this ramp here. So knowing which ramp to use first is going to be very important to create the outcome you want. So if you want to improve somebody's squat, you might start with a lower ramp first, so they can stand and not feel like they're going to fall, so they do not have to be so tense, and they can relax and maintain this position first. And then you're going to put them in the higher ramp afterwards, so that now they can challenge themselves, challenge their balance, and then they don't have to feel so tense, and they can relax into this position after they have learned how to manage their position in that ramp. All right. And then one more thing to add on. All right. Why the ramp is so useful is because if you think of the front of the ankle, if I'm just standing on a very flat surface, if the person's already ankle is so limited in dorsiflexion, you might want to give them the ramp so that now they can open up the front of the ankle so that now they have more dorsiflexion. When you think of more dorsiflexion, means you can probably go deeper in the squat. Okay, so it's all related all the way upwards. So that's probably another good reason to use the ramp, especially the large ramp, because it allows for the whole foot to be flat. So you see the toes, you don't have to extend the toes comparative to the medium and small wedges. That's how I'll put them here. Okay, so just be mindful of this position and the toe. And if you see somebody with the toes very crampy or like crunch, they're always doing this, okay, crunching the floor, you might want to give them the reverse. I might put them this direction instead. Okay, so you can actually allow the foot to rest flat against and the ramp and also the surface, so that the toes now be straighter. So you think of this, if someone's leaning forward, you will see them crunching the toes. This means they're tensing up, they're falling forward, they're going to be very tense. What if you create a bit more space here? So you put the toes elevated here, and this will allow this to relax. You will see the person also feel a bit more relaxed and comfortable, and they can shift backwards. So you might see them shifting backwards, right? And this will allow you to be able to open up this space of the foot, which will allow for true or better pronation of the foot. Okay, so we don't want just one shape of the foot, which is like the high arch one. We want to be able to do both. So we need both. And then if you think of running, you think of walking, there's a moment where, okay, let's go back to that. That's more for walking. For example, you want to be able to land on the heel, the foot to be able to rest on top, to flatten here, and then you go off to the toe off position, a push off. So you want to be able to achieve all of those, and these ramps will definitely help you. All right. So I'll show you some examples right now for squatting, hinging, how to bias that. Okay, moving on to the last part where we're going to bias the large wedges. All right, these two large wedges here. How we're going to use it? So one, for sure, you can do a squat with it. Okay, you can do a squat. And notice when I stand here, you can look at the whole foot resting here. Okay, and then if I put a higher one, for some people they find it hard to balance. Okay, you might want, you can see that there's a difference in the shin angle, the shin position, the foot. You can realize the heel comes up a little bit more. So this will be for a more advanced level. Okay, so I'll just show you a demo. We go in, you can see me go into the squat and then come back out from the squat. In from the squat, out from the squat. All right, so that's how it looks like with the small one. Same. Go in the squat, out of the squat. In of the squat, out from the squat, and then one more time, and then there we go. Okay. Likewise, you can change the wedge position. You can put your foot up this way. Actually, for this one, you can actually put it this way. Okay, again, because it's a 90-degree angle, it's going to be more gentle in doing the opening of the foot, comparative to the higher or even the medium and small wedges. So just take yourself back. Again, I think learning how to hinge, because this ramp will push me up and back, so I have no choice but go backwards. If I go forward, I'll be doing this. So I have to shift back here, okay? Now, I want you to take very closely and look at when I change this angle here. Notice that I have to bend my toes a bit higher. So if someone has very rigid big toe extension and toes doesn't do so well extending upwards, this might not be the very good drill anymore for this one. So same thing, this time I find it harder to maintain the position because of the angle is too high. Alright, so you just want to be careful using the wedges of what degree of angle works for you. Okay, so to summarize, each different sizes will matter and will provide different outcomes for different people or different individual. So you just want to be sure you are using the right wedges and the purpose of it, right? So I hope this video give you a rough idea how to use them and how you can bias them to get the most out of it, all right? So again, we have the small and medium, which is the same angle, but just different width for maybe different parts of the foot. And you bias this more for foot mechanics, pronation, supination, arch, no arch. Likewise, when you have the large wedges, it's more specifically for training like squats, hinging, but you want to pay attention to the different angles. 60 degrees, 90 degrees. Lower, higher will bias different things for different individual. Okay? Again, all ramps here are really specific to actually what you are going to try to achieve. And I hope today's video will help you out into deciding which to buy or which to use for what purpose. And if you'd like to learn more how to use these ramps, all right, you can reach me out at my Instagram or my website listed below here. You can give me a shout out or a DM to just find out more on my services and what we can do to teach you how to use the ramps a little bit more efficiently if you're not sure. Alright, I'll see you guys again in the next video.